Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I wasn't going to do anything today, but I can't seem to get away from it. The energies have been really strong, and I feel like they're really high today, like I'm stressed, but in a good way, like that exciting energy. But every time I want to take a day to focus on the work that I have to get done, you know, getting taxes together, whatever has to be done, I'm guided to do videos again. So and I had some more amazing like breakthrough codes again today. Every time it happens, it just amazes me. So then I walked outside to ground before starting the video, and just wanted to see if there's any feathers outside, since that cardinal was there yesterday. I didn't find anything out front, and I just happened to walk out back because I hadn't been out back, and on my way back in I hadn't found anything. Something sparked my eye in the doorway. So I looked down and I found, and these are always flying to me when I'm out back in the summertime, just getting some sun. But as I was looking down, I found 6 little leftover wishes that were in the doorway, in the back door. So I wanted to show you that, and it was 6. And if that shape comes up for like anything for anyone specific, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys all for your likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and please do so if you like the content. Of course, my website and my email information are below, twinflames3344.com and at gmail.com. And I'm going to get right into it. I'm not sure how long it'll go. There's some high energy here for sure. Take a deep breath, everyone. God, please armor us all with your love. Clear all the empty space. Clear all the negative energies and fill them with only beautiful organic loving light, that diamond light. And so it is. Okay, so it is March 12th today, and this is a Divine Masculine read. The 12th is of the Hangman, the Hanging Man in the Sirian Starseed deck, which I use as my main deck. And then the day adds up to 27, which is that Ace of Wands, that new passionate beginning, new creative beginning. Okay. So with the Hangman, there's a bit of a contradiction when they're both upright. So most likely one or the other will be reversed with the other, because the Hangman is hanging out in limbo with new passion, could just be thinking about the new passion. But if the Hangman's upright, that's that inspiration to get going on that new passion. So that's that kind of energy. But the Hangman also came up in the recent past for the masculine, and in the Sirian Starseed deck, it's very much about that right knee block, which has definitely been affecting me. I feel my right ankle has been bothering me a little bit, as well as my hips. I mean, I've been doing a few things, and I ran yesterday. I haven't run in a while. I've been doing elliptical at the gym, but I went outside to run yesterday, and I really felt it in my bones and my hips and my legs, and even in my rib cage a little bit. So these energies are really heavy. And there's definitely still that masculine energy to clear on the right, and the masculine may be going through some stuff, so you just might be feeling his energy or yours, but either way, it's on us to clear. Always coming back to 0 point. But just really distracted, the energies, can't get anything done with this Mercury retrograde energy, as well as the heavy energies coming in, and whatever other planetary aspects are going on. Just a lot of stress on the body. So take it easy when you can, physically. So we have that Ace of Wands and the Hangman. As I was doing the read, and I was clarifying the challenge card, which is the Great Wheel, I was getting the Great Wall, so there's definitely still some walls to climb. I was getting the Four of Wands, or Four of Flames, is in the middle of this read today, with that as the challenge. So it's getting like this great wall around the fortress. That which is the masculine, you know, but it's the union energy, okay? So it's really about around both of you. Maybe the masculine feels that you have a wall around you. But the King of Swords starts out reversed in this read, but there's some great messages in the way it unfolds. So I'm going to get right started. The read was done at 10:51 to 52, and 51 and 52 are the King and Queen of Swords. And it was all about the King of Swords today. King of Wands was in there too, though. The major arcana were Shadow, which is the devil, the Great Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the Hanging Man, which is usually the Hangman, and then the Star. And also the card after the read was Reflection, which is the Hermit. There were 4 wands, 1 cup, 2 swords, and no pentacles today, which is unusual for the masculine. The court cards, they might not be working today. The court cards were King of Wands, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, see a trend there with the wands, and then the King of Swords. Apart from that, the numbers and the coding and the message to the coding were all around rebirth and teaching and learning. Rebirth is 16 of the Tower, and then teaching and learning in this deck is 57, which is the 3 of Swords. The numbers were, I was getting a sudden split also with the rebirth. 9, 4, 7 were the basic numbers in this read. That was it, because it was mostly court cards and major arcana. 13 comes up, as well as 44, 47, 79, which is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. 44 being that mastering number of the 4 of Cups, which is also in the read today, and then 47, which is the 7 of Cups, which is synchronicities and dreams come true. 412 also came up. So the message around rebirth and teaching and learning, and by the way, in teaching and learning, the A and the N were covered again, so D, number 4 came up, or DD, Divine Director, came up again here. The message being about the toggle also, the T is coming up as the toggle, and I always see this when I ground to the center, the core of the earth, like a toggle goes through to hold us grounded, like an anchor. So I was getting that toggle as an anchor, literally. Having to do with the Hermit, or the 9th, the ending. The 9th dimension is just coming up now. It's coming up as the toggle that you need to ground yourself, I guess, especially going to the 9th dimension, but it has to do with the Hermit and closures, endings and closures. The Hermit, the wise one, the collective consciousness to the nth degree, to make sure you ground, toggle yourself. Also filter. So anchor and filter for the Divine Feminine especially. For your destiny, for good fortune, for seeing the key to the Knight or the Wounded Warrior, E, which is the feminine. It also could have to do with the karmic for the masculine. That this was a message coming through in the read today as well, that you need that 3rd in order to be the trigger. All right, so see the key, that the 3rd, even the karmic, is the key to your union. Okay, so use that anchor and your wisdom of the Divine Feminine, even if you think she's drunk or crazy. This destiny of good fortune, of seeking aid, even therapy, physical therapy if you need it, but also after death, EPT, test. So it could be a pregnancy as well. But it's all about the resurrection. So it's coming up as this time period because we're marching through March, the time of the crucifixion and then the resurrection. So they keep paralleling these things for me, so I see this, and it's coming up again as an after death, so after the crucifixion, test. Are you going to support your masculine even when he gets crucified? Or are you going to join with the crowd, right? Oh, and when I was outside, walking outside just before this, and I started singing Hosanna, Hosanna. Like, why waste your breath moaning at the crowd? Nothing can be done to stop the fighting. If every voice were still, the noise would still continue. The rocks and stones themselves would start to sing. Tell the rabble to be quiet, we anticipate a riot. This common crowd is much too loud. Tell the fools who sing their song that they are fools and they are wrong. They are cursed and they should disperse. Hosanna, Hosanna. So that was coming up and Spirit's connecting with me as I was walking out front and back, right before when I found the wishes. What do they call the seeds of the flower? So definitely the Wheel of Fortune was coming up in the coding, as well as the Hermit, the 9, the collective consciousness, the Hermit, the wise one, the Toggle, the Anchor, the Sieve, and the Seeker of the Night. And the key, to see the key to your destiny. Night E. Okay, so I'm going to get into the reading because some of the clues that come up during the reading, so I don't want to give that all away. So as we start with the shadow, right? This is the devil energy normally, but it's a web in this Sirian Starseed deck. The shadow offers the good life, but feels uncomfortable, or maybe someone can't resist it. Recovering practically from the release from prison, his wish. So again, this is Divine Masculine's read. Coming out from behind the devil, or the Capricorn. Taking down the King of Cups family in an awakening. Into knowing 4D bridge, magnetizing, pulling everything up, while grounding 3D without seeing what's around you. Or the truth taking down, or the truth taking down. The truth has been taking him down. The truth was the enemy all along for the masculine. It was just 1144. 11 is justice and 44 is that 4 of cups. And here we go with the 4 again. DD. Divine director. So the masculine finally, his pride is letting go of him. And he's finally seeing it's actually not the divine feminine or anyone else around him who took him down. It was the truth that took him down. And finally allowing himself to see his reality and who he really is. It's 1212, wisdom. Okay, the hangman. And he was definitely the hangman in the recent past, really taking everything in. But now feeling, and even the energy of your head being pulled up, like the energy that would get in our face with all the pressure and stuff, that's the energy I was getting. The 4D bridge magnetizing him, pulling everything up while needing to ground to 3D to keep you grounded without seeing what's around you, like feeling that floaty feeling. Stretching legs but can't touch the ground. It's like floating, right? Green boots and green blankets and plenty of money around. Awakened outside, family. He's like coming up as awakened outside and above the family, and family confused. Where he went, like where'd the masculine go? They're unaware, they don't get it. The King of Cups receiving the harsh truth, but not knowing how to receive the information, but trying. The King of Cups can represent someone else here, but it also can represent the masculine in his emotional confusion. And it was 1117 right there, where someone, it could be him or someone in the family is trying to understand what he's going through, but they just don't get it. But they're trying. So it's whether the masculine's trying, or someone around him and his family is trying to understand him. So as I turned the page, it was 1117 going to 1118, which is the star and the moon. There's a disconnect of partners, of a negative past, childhood or childhood home, or the past returning to free the masculine to leap to faith, to the sun at his back, to be free from work and be still for the moment. Or difficulty with kids where one is open-hearted and the other is stubborn and lazy, or they're one and the same. Getting ready to jump with a loyal friend at their feet, flowers in the yard unruly and growing every which way, needing trimming. The heat is on to go forward, but can't move in these energies. Sorry about that. But that may be a sync. That was a scam call. So what I was reading is the masculine getting ready to jump with a loyal friend at their feet, which actually the other day a snake was coming up by their feet. So it might be someone pretending to be a friend, but it also can be a loyal friend. So you have to use your discernment. But noticing that the flowers are unruly right this time of year and growing every which way, needing trimming, that the heat is on to go forward but can't move in these energies. Like you can't get yourself going into any practical energies. The underlying energies were safe to love, and beneath that was wedding. Yes, this involves marriage. but it is safe to love. So the masculine's energy here was can't wake up Sleeping Beauty to his romantic tie. So maybe he's trying to get his karmic to get it, but they're not getting it. But just for all of us, it's about these energies not wanting to wake up. I did actually get 8 hours last night, and I didn't want to wake up even then, but finally able to sleep, so that could be reflecting here in the masculine's energy, where he can't wake up his kids, or the karmic, or him, he can't wake up. But in general, this comes up as not having been able to wake up his karmic to what he wanted, or waking her up to see his connection, and that, you know, you can't stay anymore. So it depends on your situation. But as soon as I wrote can't wake up Sleeping Beauty to romantic tie, I was then getting cross keys and mythos. Remember, I brought up mythos and cross keys being, you know, the stage of life. And cross keys was coming up for me as something came up, a picture online for Lancaster, which is not too far from me. So when I got the cross keys and mythos, the point that the left leg is longer, a DNA strand, like a tree branch. Now feeling a pull on my right big toe, like my nail was being pulled up. So, like a thorn underneath your nail, in a way. But it was bringing up DNA for me. So I told you the other day for my inner children, I had seen them sitting next to each other, both typing away. But if you take the picture of two stick figures typing away, it's like, number one, it's like cross keys. But I was also getting a molecule, a DNA, some kind of molecule. I don't know what the molecule is for, but I want to find out. And then it was taking me to, I wrote down mythos or mythos as a myth, and cross keys, because I knew that was coming up again today. I'm always guided to write things down if they're important. It's just 1711, which is the star and the justice. And so as I wrote down mythos and cross keys, since it took me to Lancaster last time, I was guided to write down Lancaster. And as I write down Lancaster, I was guided to break it down, and I was getting in Lan, C as T-E-R. And then I darkened some of the letters are in capitals and some are in smalls. And what it came out to be, because I was seeing L as Lucifer and then C as Christ, and then T as the toggle, or the trigger, right? And then in between them were A and as and ER. About urgency. But what I was seeing is, if you darken L, N, C, T, it was code for Lancelot. So Lancelot was coming through, as well as urgency of that toggle to anchor down, hunker down, bunker down, I'm also getting. And so this was leading me to all sorts of things. So then I was getting Lancelot with Guinevere. So I broke down Guinevere, which was bringing up the GU is God's chalice, the Holy Grail, in Eve, E-V-E-R-E, in reference to, but I was also getting ever E, G-U, so God's, the Holy Grail, in ever E, the Divine Feminine, or evergreen, the heart. I was also getting the R, because I'm getting the R in this deck goes like this, and that's like the home run into home base, but I'm also getting it holding the E. It's the masculine's arm reaching out to catch the feminine. And I was getting that in more than one way, because when I talked about the psoas muscle the other day, the literal picture of the psoas muscle literally cups the kidneys. And this is the exact same picture I'm getting. It's amazing how they show me these connections so that I can get what they're going to tell me today. So, so Lancelot and Guinevere are coming up here, and the R as catching the E, the Divine Feminine, and Eve is definitely in here as Adam and Eve, and the representing the feminine. And also E's coming up as R is coming out as reach out for the masculine, and E as expansion for the feminine. And evergreen. And the heart. So to Lancelot, Lancelot's coming up as the L of Lucifer, right? The shadow side. And then Guinevere is coming up as God, right? The light side. And then we have the T, which is the toggle, the anchor, the switch, the antagonist. So more reveals. So again, the psoas muscle and the renals were coming up here, right? Because GU is renals, right? Let's see here, what else was coming up here. All right, so then I was getting, as I was writing all these things down, I was guided then to write down ants, because my ants are back. They're so cute. I have 3 ants again, just 3. They come in, they hang out with me. I end up almost killing them all the time, so I'll turn the water on, or they're in my sponge, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. But they're so funny. So I wrote down ants, and then I was going, oh, I just got Lancelot and Guinevere, and now I'm getting ants, which is referring me to my aunt, who's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and George, my uncle, to Curious George, right? So the masculine's Curious George, and the feminine's being referenced as Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And so now, because I hadn't even thought about the LSD angle of the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, now I am getting it. The LSD is coming up as Lucifer, Sophia, and Divine Director. That's interesting. So what comes up for you about that? All right, so as we go on with the information, so again, the disconnected partners of the negative past, childhood or childhood home, or past returning to free him to leap, to faith, to the sun at his back, to be free from work and be still for a moment, or difficulty with kids, one too open-hearted and the other stubborn or lazy, or one and the same, getting ready to jump with a loyal friend at their feet, flowers unruly and growing everywhere, and blah, blah, blah. The heat is on to go forward, but can't move in these energies. It's safe to love. So, can't wake up the sleeping beauty, romantic tie, the cross keys, mitos, the point, the left leg longer, a DNA strand like a tree branch. Now feeling a pull on my right big toe, my nail being pulled up. The home of Lancelot that he's building for Guinevere after split. A staged appearance in tent or boudoir. One final attempt to wake her up, and then he's leaving. Time to go their separate ways. Now he has full control of his manhood again, not her. 2 bulls leaving the ring and breaking the chains, using the right ring finger and not the left. The past is dust in the wind. Now ready to discover the curve of the divine feminine's back. His soft touch, in control of himself, legs and feet intertwined as one, with 2 flames making love wherever they want. So I don't know if there's a specific divine masculine who was always being told what to do as far as that, but that was kind of coming up. So he's saying finally he can just do whatever they want, naturally, no pretense, no setup. So I don't know if someone was always very structured about the way they wanted to do things, or someone wanted to role play, or whatever it was. It's like all of a sudden the masculine's just free to be himself. The divine masculine, wondering, is this fantasy really my reality? Leaving the BS behind and going forward this time, taking no prisoners, only his heart with him. Spirituality came up underlying, and this was at 1144, number 77. Underneath that was completion, number 9 again. And then also underneath was, I don't usually go down a 3rd card, but I was called to today, which was relationship change. So there was a relationship change, completion, and now masculines in spirituality. And relationship change is 56. The 2 of swords, which is being in your knowing. And all the numerology cards there were 6 cards that came out, but they were all blue and purple. All right, so we're all up here for the masculine. And as I was looking at the numbers on the cards, on the numerology cards, it was 1144, and the wind started gusting. So the wind does that. Like, Spirit does that to get my attention to look at the time, because they know if the wind starts gusting and I really hear it, I'll look at the time and it was 11:44. Weak in the knees, the wounded warrior with a message of love in sudden explosion, event, eruption, orgasm, epiphany. The King of Swords reversed is weak in the knees. Cross keys, weak for his Guinevere, reaching out to cradle her when she falls. Again, that's referencing back to the kidney and the psoas muscle, the GU. So as opposed to the GI, because GI comes up too. But when I get GI now, I get grounding and integrating. So that might be a good code for you as well. So after reaching out to cradle, so he's weak in the knees for his Guinevere, reaching out to cradle her when she falls. Lancelot, Guinevere, and I was getting Excalibur. L, G, E. So L is Lucifer, G is God, and Excalibur. X, bullet. X, trigger. And the size of the wound, the size of the caliber. So it's kind of referencing that that's the trigger and the wound, and I guess the clearing just depends on the size of the wound that they got from that X. So then I was guided to some more codes, right? So because we have L, G, and E, and I was guided to put the 3 letters together. So obviously one's curved and one's block, so it doesn't necessarily flow together, but if you make them all blocks, it'll give you a message. So if you put the G in the L, number 1, it looks like the psoas cradling the kidney, or the slider, cradling the divine feminine, sliding into home base. But if you box them, what happens is Lucifer goes away because G takes up more than the L. So Lucifer is part of God, and what's left over is, again, saying the space between the words. But more comes of that. So if you add the E to the L and G, the G then of God becomes 6, the lovers. So it's saying without the expansion of that third interference, that is how you get to the lover's bliss. Without the third, the thorn, the trigger, there's just God and no expression or no expansion. The lover's bliss. And it was showing me the difference, Spirit's connecting with me, that the difference between the L and the G, what the L is missing, comes up as certain codes like equal, or the connection, the comma, the apostrophe. That the apostrophe is over his head, which is funny. So then if you break down the words, comma is calming ma. Talk to mother. So why the son always has to talk to the mother is the comma, the space between the words to calm her. She is the thorn that expands his relationship with his other. And then we also have the apostrophe, which comes up apostle, trophy. Okay? Also, as opposed to bowling for dollars I was getting, so it might be coming up for someone, but bowling was coming up for me the other day. So I was getting from apostle, trophy, also a post, R-O, which is that R, the masculine reaching out the long arm to support the Holy Grail, the divine feminine. A post of that combination is pi. And then we get into all this stuff about a post about sliding into home, which is the heart, home base equals pi. Pi, what do I always tell you, is the masculine, divine feminine within integrating. What is the line down the middle? It's your chakra system. And if you slide into home, what is the chakra system without the base, the root? So it's all about the base, right? About grounding right now. But that pi equals the integration because it's connecting the heart to the root. Okay, and there then comes up the pyramid of the family as well, right? So the family pyramid, the 10 of cups in this deck is the pyramid. You need the base of the family to be strong to support the flyer who gets all the attention and the light. So heart to root is pi, the divine masculine, divine feminine integration, the balanced chakras from root to heart, the family pyramid. So how do you like all that stuff? Pretty cool, huh? Then we turn the page, it's 1221. Another gust of wind and bells chiming for Lancelot and Guinevere. Kids worried about parents, maybe more for the divine feminine, but Leo and King of Swords may be fighting. In the masculine's world, her weak and him not standing in his truth, the connection is the tower is limp, flexible, but not strong and will fall to the ground. A lighthouse hit by lightning. Division between the divine masculine's inner child and his adult, needing to integrate his feminine, weak, innocent, wounded warrior side with his masculine falling the feather, or doing a one-handed handstand sideways. Cirque du Soleil. Depends on your perspective. All right, so he's either falling and worrying about what he's going to hit on the way down, or it could literally be him dreaming of having been someone like someone in the Cirque du Soleil because he's watching the show. Depends on your perspective. He may be regretting not having done something as a child, or maybe recalling a time he saw his divine feminine doing sports when they were young, or worried about a child who wants to join the circus. Skinny legs were coming up on multicolored terracotta floor in sneakers or sneaks. Someone might be sneaking around, or maybe sneaking out, might be a kid sneaking out. I was getting ivy growing all around, so it's getting unruly. Causes explosion of verbal nastiness by the King of Swords reversed. Maybe kids' dress or shorts were too short, or cross-dressing, or divine masculine who cross-dresses, or likes war reenactments or other kind of reenactments, and maybe that comes out, which is something he was ashamed of, so he was hiding. Or he thinks of someone else's legs and has a spontaneous orgasm and is very embarrassed. After falling from the tower and clearing, will he hit the brick base? Or will he be able to put his hand out or down and clear the base too? Will he be able to catch Rapunzel when she jumps from the tower? And if he can't clear himself, how will he clear her? He asks himself. Okay, so here it's reiterating back to the base how important the grounding is in the base, in the connection of the heart to base. Okay, the integration of your inner masculine and feminine to keep it at 0 point. His shadow is tempting him, but when not in the truth, he is stuck with right knee issues that extend to the right ankle, probably originating from right hip and psoas muscle. Psoas cradles the kidneys. Didn't know, was unaware until he was still, knowing it's safe to love and boldly going where no man has gone before, spiritually. So until he was able to stay still, obviously just like the feminine, most of us feminine have been injured or put in a place of stillness to connect, and that's how we awakened, okay? Because we had time to feel it. So if you're so busy and stressed all the time, you don't feel your connection. So recently, the hanging man covered in wounds, moving children, his inner child, hard physical work, and divine feminine abandoned, but ahead of him emotionally. The dog still looking at the moon and trying to figure out what it is. What is it about that feminine? Confused especially at the half moons and eclipses, which we are around the half moon right now. His dysfunctional family issues come up at night to clear, expressing feelings, heated exchange, and insincerity or jealousy issues when he dealt with the divine feminine leaving her out in the cold, alone, his shadow side, alcohol and or depression, or overworking mentally and or physically, and just a bunch of stress. The foundation has to do with the North Star and the North Node. I was seeing the Page of Cups coming up here in a shape of an ice cream cone, like being in the ivory tower as his inner child of maybe a privileged background, looking down at the wounded warrior, which is actually himself, if not Mary Magdalene, his weakness, which he's seeing now, the weak foundation, the weak base, needing to rebuild and start from scratch. So as the foundation of the North Star and the North Node, just looking up in general, looking up to the stars for answers, but so much going on that the masculine can't connect. The downturn and delays with unhappy family and endings, not sleeping well, but rising above, or not, with conflict overtaking things and keeping him stuck. Or maybe he's without a car or vehicle at the time. Centrally, the energies is all about the Four of Flames, which I haven't been showing you all. This was actually beneath the shadow card. Alright, so just a little bit of it was showing. And then here's the recent past of the masculine, okay, with the right knee block. Here is the foundation of the Four of Chalices. And then now here we are at the center of the Four of Flames. Okay, so centrally is Four Flames with two showing. The focus on only two of the flames, the ones in the center. A friend possibly rides in to push the masculine along to get him out of a slump. Because it was getting like the King of Swords reversed with the Knight of Wands running in. It was like a friend coming in to get him to get going and come into his truth. Maybe not working in separation or overworking and stressed his heart in a move, sudden performance or offer of food from a King of Wands shaman. So this Knight of Wands could definitely be this King of Wands shaman, maybe a friend of the masculine's coming in to help him, or a brother or a partner. The challenge being the masculine has a date with destiny. The hermit shedding light gives him peace, drawn to her like hypnotized, not needing attention from any others, but just from the wounded warrior in another world, that Mary Magdalene energy. Him still needing closure. Lovers, Queen of Pentacles, home, and or union with new love. Surprising with food in hopes for a connection in the kitchen and a twin flame conversation. The right shoulder and neck are the focus for the masculine, as well as copper pots on the wall or art hanging out. A talk about harsh truth, that it may be harder on him than actually for the divine feminine. Him worried she will hurt him. There's just two now. After divorce done, ready for presentation of a new life. Now, crowning the read is the King of Wands shaman, exposing a work group not getting along or disbanded, making the masculine or this King of Wands shaman feel rejected as the Page of Cups reversed. He exposes the divine masculine waiting, who's scared to make a fool of himself in union or at a family celebration, because he hasn't been in his truth with them. The King of Wands reversed may be exhausted or angry about a split, or just exhausted of all of it, leaving or hearing the call, but drained by kids, Leo, and or ego insecurities about energy stealing of the High Priestess with the keys, and transformation of the King of Pentacles superhero, burning the past in divorce for new passion, new life. With wounded warrior, now that the worst is over. Soon is the masked boy, the King of Pentacles, offering lower energies openly to match the King of Pentacles status. I was getting the masked boy as the divine masculine, right, with the burning desire inside. But I was getting there's two kings that come up on him. So one was the King of Pentacles is coming up as like someone that he needed to keep up with, like keeping up with the Joneses, whether that's someone he works with, a father, or whatever it is, a partner, friend. So whoever this King of Pentacles is, he was feeling like he had to keep up the same status level as this King of Pentacles, and that could even be himself. But I was showing someone like using their low energy in order to keep that status. Even though the King of Pentacles was upright and a good man, for him, he had to lower himself to keep that status. But also getting that this King of Pentacles was really tight with his money. Soon the masked boy with the King of Pentacles offering lower energies openly to match the King of Pentacles status. He might have been the Knight of Pentacles, is what I might have meant to write there. The King of Cups out of control, wanting to wave to the divine feminine. That may be a temptation for him, but hasn't had the opportunity or the money. Or kids have been ungrounded, or too many kid activities, that kind of thing, just really busy constantly. Or the masked boy with the fire inside, hiding or buried from or by the King of Pentacles and King of Cups, where the King of Pentacles is wealthy and stable but cheap or tight, And the King of Cups is controlled by the devil, temptations, and has no money because he's always spending it, or out of control, ungrounded, and drinks too much. The King of Cups and Queen of Cups here are coming up with sudden jealousy issues, announcements to the divine feminines as an offer to help, to ground, and to move forward. So either these King and Queen of Cups have an announcement of their own, or they're listening to twin flame announcements online. But they're coming up as jealous. And I'm not getting this necessarily as the masculine and his karmic. I'm getting it as a couple around him. Could even be his parents or her parents. But the jealousy of a wake-up call that a divine lover third party is making an offer, maybe a practical in nature, or the divine masculine Knight of Pentacles has a work announcement about a breakup between the King and Queen of Cups and or the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles group at work. The Page of Wands is growing up. The King of Cups wants the Emperor reversed to say hi to the divine feminine to see if she is in need of opportunity. And the King of Pentacles wants to give her a lowball financial offer for work or a payoff, or maybe it's a test to see what she'll do. The divine masculine is coming up, so divine masculine isn't necessarily agreeing with this. It could be people around him who want to like cash in on something around the divine feminine, or want to test her to make sure of her worth for the divine masculine. The divine masculine is coming up as the star. It was just 41-11. 41 is the Ace of Cups, and 11 is justice, so getting justice and love. The divine masculine is the star. The group is unaware he's frustrated and being sneaky or telling half-truths, and very impatient, losing his temper with people who are ignorant. Maybe he's depressed, although he knows he's being guided. The cards that came up from Romance Angels were let go of control issues, trust, give your relationship a chance, very soon, soulmate, yes, this is your soulmate, and healing family issues. So again, the Destiny card was here as the challenge, and crowning the read is the Master of Flames Shaman. And this near future masked boy with the burning desire is here. And now we have how he sees himself as the star. But around the divine masculine, or how he is seen, which is the Seven of Orbs, right? This usually the Seven of Swords. So I will often see this as passing on downloads, but it's also risk-taking cards. It's also the liar, cheater, thief. So there's risk and possible downloads and liar, cheater, thief energy here. Downloads not being passed on, presently implementing a plan to message and share about his truth and balance, about justice. So masculine might be holding back on some of his downloads because he's putting something together. Maybe settling out in court or back to work, talking and giving, but more balanced in the way he does it. Planning behind the scenes on how to get out of something or to pursue dreams on his own. Flying high, a balloon ride, or amazing pop fly at the ball game, or the wizard, take me out to the ball game. I'm getting that. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if we never get back because it's root for the home team. Who's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Okay, so ground. It all has to do with a strong root, strong structure, foundation. And what was it? The foundation was the Four of Cups, which is mastering. It's that grounding, integrating, mastering. Okay. So the fly ball, the balloon ride, or amazing pop fly at the ball game, or the Wizard of Oz comes in for a landing, sliding in to home base. So it comes back in again, totally in a different way. The divine feminine with a plan to move and pursue their dreams. I'm sorry, divine masculine. Could be a divine feminine as well, but it really was about the divine masculine sliding into home base, now with a plan to move and pursue their dreams together. Clearing blocks of the Knight of Wands flame, bringing to light that the worst is over. The Queen of Pentacles is okay and stable after the aftermath of being taken down by the truth, really. Her own truth. Standing up for themselves and fending off others to shine their light and heal any jealousy issues between them before coming together. So then the numerology deck came up with rebirth, teaching and learn, which I told you already, but even more so spiritual partnership as being most significant. the spiritual connection between you. The King of Swords and third party happily exposed. The King of Swords standing in his truth, and Leo dragging things out forever, could be years and years and years, refusing to change or to transform. Or he thought he was being strong by clinging to the Leo, being a good man, and trying to keep the commitment despite some major issues of jealousy, clinginess, yelling, drinking, depression, control, and manipulation. Burning the past with the King of Pentacles' death. That could be a transformation as well, but I was getting for some it might be a death, that someone died recently. Burning the past with the King of Pentacles' death, who may have been a romantic abuser of the masculine, or just burning the past through the wounded warrior comfort and old-fashioned romance. Just as a new life, now that the worst is over, with Sagittarius female drinker and or magician, so that could be an Aries, it could be Gemini or Virgo as well, manipulation, spying and or investigating another couple. So there's definitely interference around here, whether that's masculine or someone else investigating. It was coming up as someone spying on a couple though, not just one person. The King and Queen of Cups is not good. That couple is not coming up good here. Wanting to cash in on someone else's good fortune. The King of Swords had some bad company, so bad company comes up, as well as sleeping with the enemy. A long story, never ending. The Hermit sheds light on powerlessness of the wounded warrior, speaking truth about the Queen of Wands reversed, knowing the Divine Feminine could feel them together, that she knew all along, and would instigate sex on purpose as vengeance, and was the only reason for them coming together. And then, as I turn the page, it's 142. 42 is the Two of Cups. That she put out an olive branch to the masculine to get her way and manipulate again. So going back to her old ways again. The Queen of Cups reversed comes up then as crying tears of joy, awakening to an offer of love that had previously been ignored, mastering those energies now, the lovers now in the whole truth and their knowing. L wasn't for loser. This is a message for the masculine. It was for Lancelot and his G-spot, Guinevere, through Excalibur, truth. It was that simple all along, and I'm getting Man of La Mancha coming up, right? So we have why am I blanking out? I'll come up in a second. So, it was that simple all along. The truth shall set you free. Detoxing unhappiness, that wish upon a star. Egyptians and Knights of Templar. Atlantis, constellations and the North Star. Vega, and then Vegas was coming up. To dream the impossible dream. To fight the unbeatable foe. To bear the unbearable sorrow. To run where the brave dare not go. So now we're going into the impossible dream. And that's from Man of La Mancha. And it is the, I want to say Han Solo, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Maybe they're making me say Han Solo, because the masculine always comes up as Han Solo. Maybe he likes to dress up as not only World War II reenactments, but as superheroes and things like that. Or it could be Star Trek or Star Wars. But I was also getting, what's his name? I'm blanking. But anyway, it's that energy of Lancelot and Han Solo, right? But I was guided to read some more of the words from The Impossible Dream. So, to run where the brave dare not go. To right the unrightable wrong. To love pure and chaste from afar. To try when your arms are too weary. To reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star. No matter how hopeless, no matter how far. To fight for the right, without question or pause. To be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know, if I'll only be true to that glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, so you get the idea, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. That's what I was getting. I'm getting Don Quixote, but also Don Juan's. They're both coming up as all of the personas of the masculine template, okay? So hanging in limbo at home, dreaming of destiny, of masked boys, innocent burning fire, desire to grow, to Knight of Wands, flame. So going from the Page of Wands to the Knight of Wands with a flame. And then King of Wands, shaman. His heart grew 3 times that day. To then be in spirits connecting with me. The King of Swords, upright, to tell the truth, to the hermit and the light, to find the truth, with lover, and then all is right with the world again, in knowing and perfectly balanced. So that was the end of the read. So really beautiful read. So this is him coming into, you know, what you need to clear, but also this was showing him how he needs to grow into the King of Wands, because that's the Knight of Wands, and then the Master of Orbs, which is the outcome or the solution card, and then the after the card read was coming up as the feminine, as the Hermit with their light, shedding more light for the masculine, like him looking forward now to the shadow work. So he wants to be triggered now, because now he gets it. He's not being hurt by it anymore. He's knowing that it's for a reason. It was 5101. So the Knight of Swords and the 1, which is the Magician. Okay, so what's the one I want to show you? I wanted to show you this because this is like, oh, it's not coming up the right way. If you look at this upright, because I can't get it because it's I have to edit it right now. I don't want to. But anyway, if you look at this upright, and the top is the Page of Cups there sticking out. That's actually the top. This is where the Lancelot and Guinevere energy is coming up. Then him wanting to rescue the wounded warrior, but he doesn't know how he'll do it. You know, like he's the page he's the innocent page wanting to offer to the wounded warrior his love. Like, how do you do that? He's feeling weak and feminine, like, you know, not enough. And I wanted to show you this too. This is, I'll probably post this as the tag, but this is the back of my sweatshirt that I have on right now. There's one little stone there missing. It's not about perfection. And I'm going to show you the read now too while I'm at it. Alright, so this is the full read. And then we have, oh, there's the, whoop, going the wrong way to find it, basically. Oh, I have to show you the others too because I might not have taken a picture of the basic read, but there were cards that kept coming up during the shuffle, so I want to show you them because there's 3 times they came up. This, and this all came up in the shuffle for the masculine. Okay, so we're going to pull some oracle cards now. So we have the Ascension deck. Take a deep breath. Another one if you've taken one already. Clear in a line. 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 Okay. So for this March 12, which by the way, it's 333 today, because it's 3/12/12, so it's 333. So for today, 333, or March 12, 2019, for everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? This is going out to Divine Director and Lancelot and Guinevere. Okay. The bottom of the deck is Gold and Silver Violet Flame, which is 4, which is the Emperor. Stability. So this is the root. This is coming up as the root, even though the root's the first chakra. the 4, it's also bringing up the heart, but it's bringing up the 4 of the root, that stability of the home, that your heart is your home, but your root is the structure that supports the home. And the affirmation is, I am the gold and silver violet flame, which is all of your abilities to transmute negative energies. So we called in Divine Director, and we called in Lancelot and Guinevere. So I got 2 piles that came out. The first 2 were Air and Pleiades from Divine Director. Okay, Pleiades is 16, which is the Tower, which definitely came up today. And 12, which definitely came up today, because today's 3-12-12, actually, which reduces to 3-3-3. So it's the Tower and the Hanging Man. The Tower wasn't a major arcana in the read today, but it was definitely coming up this week. But it was definitely in the clarifiers a couple times. But we definitely had the Hangman there. I think the Tower came up yesterday as well in the read. So we have the aftermath of the Tower, which the Tower is going to be perpetual for the masculine, right? Because they keep getting downloads, epiphanies, as well as sudden events with their karmic situations. So they are getting constant towers. So it's all about him with each new tower gaining that new perspective, just like I do when I do each day when I do a read and I get these new downloads. It allows you a new perspective of that impossible dream, which came up in my comments today to someone too. Oh, and what's your title? Now I have to look that up. Hold on one sec. I don't have time to do it right now, but the title who I've sorry. Just hitting different buttons there. Sorry about that. The person I replied to, I think it was Journey. I'm just blanking out on the title, but it syncs with what we're talking about. So the Tower and the Hangman, and seeing wisdom and new perspectives in those Tower moments, in the epiphanies. It's bringing in the Pleiades and air, how important the air that we breathe. All I need is the air that I breathe again. And air supply was just coming up. So the group, but also your air supply. Is your air supply filtered well? Very important. Have you changed your filter recently? Then I'll read those too. So air says, the element of air supports truly magical cosmic qualities. Sylphs are air elementals working for the elemental master Dom, and supervised by the unicorns. I was just cracking up because I couldn't think of Don for anything, and here Dom is. You are guided to ask the unicorns to direct Dom and his sylphs to spread the qualities of air, enlightenment, ascension, enthusiasm, freedom, and divine vision into the minds of those who need them. Also ask them to purify currents of air and blow them to polluted areas so that they may be cleansed. All right, so wherever you are, you're a natural transmuter. So transmute the air and the waters and land around you, but it's specific to air today. Also ask them to purify the currents of air and blow them to polluted areas so they can be cleansed. Help the fairies work with flowers, which came up as being overgrown, the vines of flowers coming in now, by acknowledging and appreciating them. The affirmation is, I invoke air to carry angels singing around the world and bring hope and peace. That was 2. And Pleiades says, the Pleiadians are great healers. They love Earth and all who live on her. By drawing this card, you're being invited to open your heart to Pleiadian healing. Let them enfold you in their loving, healing blue light, so that their wisdom and gifts flow to you. When you have absorbed these qualities into your energy fields, pass them on to others. And now I'm getting that, blue eyes comes up a lot for me, so I'm getting Pleiadian saying, blue eyes. Remember that the animals who come from the Pleiades, the sheep, the pandas, and pigs, heal people and our land, bless them and honor their work on our planet. And pigs were definitely coming up yesterday, and counting sheep was definitely coming up this week as well. Can't say I've seen a panda recently. Maybe the panda needs to come up right now. I'm getting the black and white of it. The affirmation, I open my heart to love and healing, from the Pleiades. Alright, so that was Divine Director, DD. And that's the 12 and the 16 adds up to 28. Do you like that? For the 2 of Wands, the twin flames, it's definitely flames in this deck. Alright, so for Lancelot and Guinevere, what do we have? We have Hilarion, Lady Portia, Kuan Yin, and Lemurian healing. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Hilarion's number. I'd like you to be able to see all the numbers. Alright, so Hilarion, I'm not going to read them all. It's going to be, because I want to get into the other cards, but the affirmation for Hilarion, which is 46, the 6 of Cups, the Children and the Guardian, is I am open myself to the wisdom and guidance of Hilarion. And I did with Light Star, the one I have that, the red and orange and gold energy portrait that I showed you. One of her, she does light language and stuff like that, but her Hilarion labeled video was great for me. I had a great experience after that, so you might want to check it out. Also, Lady Portia is number 32, which is the 6 of Wands, the journey, journeying on, the good news, the getting attention, the followers, the being a leader, leading the way. I am fair-minded, open-hearted, and non-judgmental as Lady Portia. So Hilarion is Temple of Truth, and Lady Portia is coming up as Lord of Karma, Goddess of Justice. Okay? And Saturn comes up around Hilarion as well, so it's very much about, you know, karmic solutions right now, you know, finalizing judgments, things like that. And then Kuan Yin and Lemurian healing is coming up here. Kuan Yin is 43, which is that 3 of Cups of coming together. It's also about groups. And then Lemurian healing is 24 of the Queen of Wands. Kuan Yin's affirmation is I act from my divine feminine wisdom, and that's all about the 12th ray, which is like opalescent. But that's all about the, you know, that's the top ray, the completion ray of unconditional love. And it's coming up as the Cherise pink light, right? That feminine energy of love and compassion. It's all about divine feminine qualities and your healing abilities. And also she's all about the inner child, and all this work will subtly affect your stellar gateway chakra and build the Antakarana bridge to source. I act from my divine feminine wisdom, so that's Kuan Yin. And then Lemurian healing is 24 of the Queen of Wands, sending Lemurian healing to Earth is the affirmation about the 5D, the androgynous beings who loved and wanted to heal Earth. They drew the love of God through the cosmic heart to the planet. They gathered their divine qualities from our energy fields and that of other stars, adding to the pure source light in order to form healing crystals to help us through transition to the new golden age. I can't talk, it's Mercury retrograde. The Lemurians then placed these healing crystals in the earth to light up the ley lines. I'm getting the L from the initials that we're getting up to regarding the ley lines as well. The light and the ley lines, they're saying to look at all the L's there. Lemurian, light, ley lines. So you remember how they're connected? See if there's anything else here. Nope. Lemuria, light, ley lines. Even now, when 2 or more gather with humility to focus on these crystals, powerful healing takes place. I send Lemurian healing to Earth. Okay, so that was from Lancelot and Guinevere. So we have it's the 6 of Cups, the Journey, the 3 of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So it's showing the combination of you with your karmic of the masculine, okay? That the karmic becomes the third party, but that's the instigator, the initiator of the journey and the coming together. Because we have the 46 of the twins, their inner children together. Then we have the journey. Then we have the 43 of the coming together, and then the 24, the Queen of Wands. And also, it's all, the Queen of Wands is all about creativity, you know, and physical creativity, passion. But the Queen of Wands is much more dynamic than the King of Wands, so that might be that expression also, just showing the multidimensional facetedness of the union of both the feminine and the masculine. Okay. So we had 2 cards and then 4 cards. 24. So it's reiterating about the Queen of Wands, and also the 42, which is the 2 of Cups. That's from so the 24 is from Divine Director, and the 42 is coming up from Lancelot and Guinevere, right? The 2 together. Or it could be the other way around as well, for sure, because you connected to your higher self, to Source. And then the Queen of Wands of Lancelot and Guinevere coming together to be creative. So it works both ways. Okay. Now from the past life deck, take another deep breath. Going long this week. Take another deep breath. Okay, again, from Divine Director and Lancelot and Guinevere. This is 333, March 12, 2019. For everyone watching, in the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do I need to know, what do I need to learn? What is our guidance? The whole deck came out. There's a number there somewhere. Okay, so forgiveness reversed is coming up, which is very interesting because we never get not to forgive. But here it's saying not to let the masculine off the hook. Right? Like, don't allow someone to disrespect you. It's not saying not to forgive. It's saying don't be overly forgiving. Don't forgive someone when they haven't shown you the respect yet. If they're still being bad to you, don't forgive that behavior. You can forgive it, but you don't accept it into your life. That's what I'm getting, because I'm still getting the persecution and inquisitions underneath this. So have they righted the wrongs yet? Do they deserve your forgiveness? You still forgive them, but you don't have to give them your energy, your time, your love, unless they're going to treat you well, right? But you always forgive, because that's for you. All right, so then we get 2 cards came out together, so this is the main answer, all right? So spirituality and religion, and then wars and battles, both reversed. So letting go of all of that. All of the wounds from all of that. I'm starting to want to cry again because I'm getting, well, first I was getting the Confederates, and then I was getting Dallas, and the Dallas Cowboys were coming up again for some reason. But then I was getting the swastikas, right? Because a lot of you, were saying for you to drop all this stuff about religion and spirituality and wars and battles, and I'm wanting to, it's making me cry. Because there's so many people with wounds where their Bibles were burned, right? And how much hurt there was around that, because they weren't allowed to believe what they wanted to believe. But remember, whatever comes up for you, the trigger, it's triggering a wound that's not you. You are just pure love, your unity, consciousness. And there's nothing wrong with having a church to go to pray if that makes you feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. But saying that you're letting go of the spirituality and religion divisions, that all that does is divide us. It doesn't bring us together. Connecting with your individual higher self brings us together, because then each individual connects with the whole. And that's why you're supposed to love yourself first. It may seem selfish, but it's not, because when you love yourself first, you connect to the collective consciousness, and if everyone else does that at the same time, that's when you have heaven on earth. So this is about letting go of all the wars and the battles. It is not, and it came up today about about karma. So whether this is about religion or wars and battles or about money, it's not our job to get retribution. It's not our job to make up the karma, the vengeance, the getting back, to make justice equal. It's truth and balance, about you finding truth and balance again in yourself when you've been knocked off balance because of that injustice, and allowing the universe to naturally take its course, which it will. You can't possibly have the perspective, which is what came up today, of the universe, which Source does, how everything is playing out. You know, it's like the body. You can't possibly know what every little cell in the body is doing, right? At the same time, you can't know that all at once. But Source does. Okay, so when it's all working in unison, then everything is balanced. But if you try to force the issue, right, and you pull your muscle, now you're throwing off the whole rest of the world. So this is the point. And it was just 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, okay? So it's just bringing in, again, the perspective of what harmony is, what love is, what true balance and truth is, and joy. So to end the wars and the battles, not only the actual wars and battles, but the battles within yourself, and with your own home, your own country, everything. And the spiritual and religious differences, it doesn't matter. It's just another perspective of the same, because we're all the same. You can call the God this and you can call the God that, but you're both talking about the same God. And let go of the false. It's saying it's the false light, that you are the light. You are the peace of God. You are the connection with Source directly. That is true light. But this is false light. The teachings are good. There's nothing wrong with opening books and learning, but it's so much higher learning to learn through your pure channel. All right, let's see how many cards came out here, because like the whole deck was coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is 18. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have 18. And if you want, just the top card, I'm not going to show you all 18, but the top is coming up as Atlantis reversed. So saying let go of that too, because that's when there's a lot of experiments done on the feminines. And the feminine weren't able to speak their truths. They were left behind by the masculines, and probably with the karmic that they're in this life with. So we're being told to bring this up, to let go of that as well, because that's part of the wars and the battles and the prior connections, commitments, vows that all need to be cut. When the pillars were in charge, they no longer are. That's all now underwater. Under the water, under the bridge. All right, so we have 2, then we have 18, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2, 18, 8, 28 again. Okay, so both decks add up to 28. And also, being that last pile, we have 2 of the High Priestess, 18 of the Moon, and 8 of the Strength. So the feminine strength. It's all about the feminine strength. Inner and outer strength, the wounded warrior, clearing the path for the masculine. And as I looked at these 3 piles, I have spirituality and religion reversed, Atlantis reversed, and orphan reversed. So it's saying on all levels, right? Because Atlantis was otherworldly, Spirituality and religion is within this world, and then orphan is within self. All right, to correct all of those disconnections, because this is disconnection from self, feeling alone, to let go of that. This is to let go of let go of your aloneness, because that's disconnection from self. Let go of Atlantis, because that's water under the bridge. And let go of spirituality and religion, because that's the false light. That's what I'm getting. And it's 28. Two of Wands, the Y in the road, the perpetual co-creation, the twin flames. All right. And don't forget forgiveness, but don't let someone walk all over you either. And it cracks me up whenever I think of that card, forgiveness, because it's so pure and white, and then the feminine bird's like giving an evil stare at the masculine bird. So let it go. If the masculine's willing to come in and be, your Lancelot, then by all means, forgive. Always. But if they're not willing to be different and communicate with you and respect you, then you need to be able to walk away, and you need to forgive yourself and forgive him, but from a distance. That's the not forgiveness. Take another deep breath. And also no tit for tat. So once you are together, the feminine also can't hold things against him anymore. Once you let it go, you have to let it go. And if stuff comes up, it's okay, you can talk about it, but you can't be mean to each other about it. You can't keep holding it against them every time something comes up. And if you fall, you make a mistake, and you do, then you forgive yourself and the other and let it go again. You just keep letting it go until it's really easy. And you know it is. Alright. So again, this March 12, 2019 for everyone watching, and the highest good of all is concerned. What is it we need to know? What is it we need to learn? And this is from Divine Director and Lancelot and Guinevere. There's two. So what is that message? Okay. Within nothing there is everything. Number 2 is at the bottom again. So again is the High Priestess at the bottom, and that's very much of the ultrasound. I just didn't want to mix the cards up. So, definitely could be representing a new birth, whether it's actual child or just the birth of a new endeavor, the union, whatever it is. Within nothing there's everything. That's the underlying energy of the High Priestess. So then from Divine Director, we have the Temple, which is 59. 59 is the 5 of Swords, which is the war. It's usually just any war is about the war within your head, is the brain wars. Because if you're at war with yourself, if you're disconnected, then there will be war everywhere. That's why your body is a temple, and treat it as such, as within, so without. It's all along those lines. That's from the Divine Director. Then we have Lancelot and Guinevere, and Guinevere had a lot to say. All right, let's see. Whoop. And Lancelot's saying, wait, I have something to say too. All right, Sensual Awakening. This is Lancelot. 64. 64 is the 10 of Swords. The sensual awakening is through that pain that you learn, right? So after the cry, you learn the new perspective. You're able to let go of it. And also remember, through the dark night is where you learned all your abilities, how you connected with the angels. You know, through your darkest night was when the most amazing things would happen. Loving all that is number 22 from the masculine, say, I am the shadow. Because you all think that the moon is the shadow, that the feminine is the shadow, but it is I, Lancelot, who is the shadow. I am the shadow, I am the devil. I am Lucifer, not the feminine. The sensual awakening is the 10 of swords, and the 22 is the fool that takes the leap of faith. From pain into faith. From disconnection into connection into unity. Taking all that is, taking in all that is, and loving all that is. Feeling the sensuality of that, right? Some of the shadow side is actually good. This is the masculine saying. I'm getting 69 here. Which, by the way, is the Ace of Pentacles, is that new life, that perfect contentment. Because it's the perfect, matching together. What is that? Cancer's symbol? Something like that. But loving all that is. Even if it's nothingness. Even if it's just the space in between. Because she's holding nothing. She's holding light. She's holding space. And the masculine to the feminine as the fool. The fool after the worst is over. The calm after the storm. Loving all that is, that you are my sunshine. As opposed to the moon. Okay. That's really beautiful. And now Guinevere's is 4 separate cards. She's making it very clear. First one is gifts received, which was that yesterday it came up or the day before? Which is 13. That's that transformation. It's the death card. But that the death, the transformation is the gift. It's nature. And I'm seeing, I don't usually get fairies, but I'm getting fairies. The fairies want you to see them. The fairies are there in nature helping you. And you see those little orbs? I'm getting the orbs as fairies. That it's all the gifts received are just all part of nature. It's nature's cycle. The birth and death and rebirth, But it's all about nature. Don't forget to always equate death with nature. That's what I'm getting from this. From Guinevere. And that fairies are wonderful. Okay, then we have the Pearl Threaded, number 38, which is the Queen of Cups. She's saying that is Guinevere. It's the pearl threaded, but I'm also getting popcorn threaded. Popcorn, because I get pop top, a fly ball, a fly and balls. She's being funny. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is who keeps it all together. She's the common thread amongst all. The pearl, which doesn't become the pearl unless the clam gets infected with bacteria. So out of something bad, there's always something good. And then to keep the connection, she's the connection between the words, the connection between the pearls. But she's not the beautiful pearl. She is the everlasting. The everlasting. It's making me want to cry. The everlasting flow of energy through the strand of pearls. she is the, not the beads, but the string that holds the rosary. Because there would be nothing to count if you were not there. It's making me want to cry. I'm getting scattered energy too for the feminine, like you're the warriors. You're the one who always take, not warriors, but worriers. The mothers who've always, you know, that because they had to do all the worrying, they were the one who took all the damage for it because they were stressed and their energy was disjointed. But even through that you still keep going and you still keep creating beautiful things and making new flowers grow, and with everyone you meet, spreading it throughout the world. It's really beautiful energy coming through. The third card she brought out is the Swan. It's pure and simple and black and white. Our love, our beauty. The 67 is the Knight of Pentacles. The masculine. He's very black and white. He's very simple and very hardworking and true. And he loves you. She's saying that he is the Swan. He is smooth and pure and beautiful and grand and elegant and yet simple and pure and gracious and sure. And the fourth card she pulled is the Cloak, number 50. And 50 is the 10 of Cups. So you have the gifts received is the transformation. Then you have the Queen of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles, who comes to propose. The 50, which is that 10 of Cups, complete emotional fulfillment in a family. And the picture is very much of Jesus and Sir Lancelot. In a painting. But the colors in our paintings can't even compare with the colors of our soul. This is Jesus coming through saying, and no, it is I who am truly bliss. To connect to you. Nice gift, huh? All right, I'm not going to read anything because I think that was enough, and it's already at 1:27. I think I showed you all the pictures I have. Is there anything else? I guess that was it. Okay, drink your water, guys. Be good to yourselves. Rest. I know it's been really hard in these energies, but you know how it is. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.